All right, so there you have a background to what we're focusing on this morning. Well, let's now join Mr. Asugbuni Amici, who is the Vice President of Nigeria Labour Congress, to give his perspective on what is going on. Morning, and thank you for joining us. We understand there's supposed to be some activity going on today with Labour about the tariff. Could you bring us up to speed? What is going on?
Yes, I think the Nigeria Labour Congress, through its supreme organ, took a decision to picket the discourse and jinkos today with regard to their treacherous increase in tariff. And eventually we are doing that nationwide.
Well, when you say outrageous increase in tariff, could you break it down? What exactly do you mean?
In fact, breaking it down could lead to further expansion because we regard it as illegal, an increase that did not bear in mind the stakeholders involved. It did not consider Nigerians, the input and their benefit as well. So we believe that there was no consultation to this effect, and eventually if there was consultation, the increase itself is unacceptable because it affects the majority of Nigerians. You can't talk about increasing the tariff when there is no availability of power. So when the minister was talking about stability of power, it has to be available before it becomes stable. So the entire they have spent in trying to generate power, virtually they cannot just try to use Nigerians to bear the brunt. So they are not willing to accept their weak approach. Rather, we have to resist it for the benefit of Nigeria.
When you say you are going out to picket the discos, what does that mean? Is it that we're likely to see total darkness?
Come again?
You say you're going out to picket the discos nationwide. Does this mean total darkness?
No, it's not total darkness. It's a message. Ordinarily, they ought not have proceeded with this action, but probably they wanted to test run what the NSC would do. So we are picketing them more or less. This is like a minor approach because ordinarily we would have shut down the nation as a response to this ungodly policy. So we believe that picketing this goal before the end of today, there should be a reverse to that action. Otherwise, we may be taking some other drastic steps.
Wasn't there?
Them is to ensure that we occupy their premises with the intention of giving them the serious message on behalf of Nigerians that they cannot go ahead with that because whatever they are doing today as we speak is to implement the said increase. So by the time we occupy there, it means that the foreign attitude around them is rejecting and resisting what is on ground. So they can only do but to delete them.
So, Mr. Amici, I thought there was a meeting between the Labour leadership and the interested parties on this matter.
There was no meeting to agree to this?
Yes, to shelve this protest.
Yes, I think even yesterday night, meetings were ongoing, trying to see if there will be a way out. For the federal government point of view, they want to set up a committee, and the issue is not about committee. Labour is not saying we need dialogue, where that government is not available for dialogue. We are equally available for dialogue. Committee can be in place, no doubt. But the action itself, people have already started paying for this increase. So assuming they suspend it, it would have been a better one for us. But for now, all the dialogue they claim they have engaged us is just a way of reacting to action already taken. We are not proactive enough to engage Labour, sort it out before the implementation. They went ahead to implement, and they are coming now to see how they can paint their policy. So we don't want to accept that approach to not favor Nigeria.
What do you make of the argument that you're looking for fairer prices for electricity?
Yes, our argument is the argument of a entire country. We believe that first and foremost, there was an expected application filed by one Lagos lawyer that I think you know, and then the court injunction to that effect. Federal government, as we speak, have breached that process. And then, in addition, the increase itself will suffer Nigerians in terms of amount. By the time you increase that amount without increasing power, so who is cheating who? So it's very clear that it's total exploitation. And we expected the Regulatory Commission to protect Nigerians. I was thinking that was the reason they established them in order that the private operators will not take advantage of Nigerians. But unfortunately, they are the ones leading this, they are championing this increase. So for me, it's unacceptable for NSC, it's unacceptable. AUC, we are speaking one language in this direction. So we need to want Nigerians to join to resist this, because even the fifth charge that they removed, ordinarily wouldn't have existed, because that is so terrible. They're exploiting us in that regard, because when you're talking about service charge, there must be service before charge. So you've not provided any service and you are collecting service charge. That on its own is illegal. And then eventually they have removed it to replace it with another atrocious increase. It's unacceptable as well.
You don't
forget, most people that have bought meter themselves.
Comrade, I was just wondering, if you can hear me, I was just wondering, you talk about, the lack of protection for consumers because of the lack of metering. Don't you think that that's where the focus should be? The argument that, everyone should be metered as soon as possible.
The question is, when you talk about as soon as possible, how soon is soon? Who can quantify soon? Because if everyone will agree, they let them meter them within the shortest period of time. But if the 18 months failed, then what other time did people stand? 18 months was not enough to meter 60% of Nigerians. So are we sure that they even commence it? When you listen to the minister, he said 2-3 years, things will get normal, the thing will drop. That is the projection. There is no setting in whatever pronouncement they have made. They are not sure. They are making these promises and policies in assumption. So they have to go back to their proper place to be sure in anything they are saying, so that Nigeria will believe them.
Comrade, some people...
Nigerians, they don't have confidence in this pronouncement.
Comrade, when it comes to metering, I think a lot of people would, support that particular move on metering. But people will also say that electricity is something you can control what you consume. You don't have to use all the electricity in your house. You don't have to use all the electricity that is supplied to you. What do you make of that argument?
Very, very well. We support, and that is even the key point of National Congress. Let them meter the consumer so that the issue of high rate can be moderated with the Regulatory Commission. So we believe that they should meter the entire country. That is the only way you can go as you earn. But don't forget, we cannot lose sight on the increase, because privatization of power is not like other sectors where you have anybody can engage such business. There is restriction to those that are licensed to operate. So eventually it's monopolized. So you don't just believe that by the time they are metered, price on its own will be regulated. No. They should also do very key, give key interest to the regulatory of this pricing, because the product is such expensive. Without it, no business can stand. Individuals' infrastructure cannot survive. So for me, we believe that they should meter Nigerians, they should meter all their consumers. But eventually, the increase in tariff must be done with carefulness.